All right. What y'all all been waiting for. Okay. The GOAT of the NBA. I have on my list five that I think should be on there. And I'm going to see what Brother Watson is going to say who's the GOAT out of all that I list. Of course, MJ, Michael Jordan, Bill Russell has the most rings. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has the most points. Kobe Bryant, the late great Mamba. And last but not least, LeBron James. Who you got?
Oh, hey man, that's what it is. LeBron
James. Wow. Hey, okay. All of those people, while LeBron James.
Man, so look, man, like for this man to have dominated the NBA for the length of time that he dominated the league, that he has dominated the league. And he's coming for every stat category. Mm-hmm. I mean, so when you talk about like great leading scorer and so on and so forth, he's coming for it. And he's doing it at a time where the league is more skilled than any other time. Now,
really?
Yeah. Oh, you know, we talk about skill, right?
I was gonna say it's watered down.
We're not talking about physicality. We're not talking about physicality. That's a different story.
Right.
So the league is not nearly as physical as it was back in the day.
Right.
Which one could argue whether that's a good or a bad thing, right? Because to me, if you're a basketball purist, then you don't necessarily like penitentiary ball, right?
Did you learn nothing in prison? Damn. That's what I learned.
So if you're a basketball purist, you're not really into penitentiary ball. You want to see people actually play legit defense and play ball. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But from a skill perspective, heck yeah. Like nobody back in, like you can go back and people didn't have the handles. They weren't as nearly as athletic. And part of that is just because, you know, number one, we evolve as human beings. But
right.
Also you got nutritionists now, you know, things that, you know, that was through trial and error, you know what works and what doesn't work, you know, for to have, you know, get the most out of your body. So man, like he's just doing it at a high level, and he'll be the first person. Like if he keeps playing for the next 3 or 4 years, he'll be the first guy to play in the NBA with his son.
Right, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oops, my wife did. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing?" I told you I was going to be on a call.
That's all right. That's all right. But no, he'll be the first guy to play in the league with his son. That's unheard of. That's unheard of, man. So to me, like he's just, you know, he's had a clutch hold. Everybody used to be like, "Oh, the East is weak. That's why he dominated." Then he moved to the West, and they'd be like, "Oh, the West is weak because everybody went to the East." I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Stop changing the narrative.
You know what? But you know, I hear you, and that's the thing. But MJ always gonna be my GOAT, man. And you know what, man? And here's the thing, and I gotta go into this, man. Why LeBron always got to try to do something MJ do? What? Leave Space Jam alone. No need for Space Jam. Why are you doing that? If Kobe didn't do Space Jam, you shouldn't do Space Jam. That's just wrong.
Hey, that's just a good business decision. But that's just business. That's just business.
But it changed up the Bugs Bunny girl and everything, man. This is whack, man.
Hey, man, that's just business, man. But look, Kobe, like to me, Jordan, you know, was also like, you know, when I talk about Steph Curry being a transcendent player, I mean that was Jordan all day. You know, everybody wanted to be like Mike. You know, so you know he really, you know, revitalized the NBA. You know, and brought life back to it. You know, so you know I'm not taking anything away from MJ, but I think like GOAT is you can, you know, I always say this about, you know, put this caveat for the GOAT discussion anyway. You can say greatest of their time. You know, you can't. It's tough to say greatest of all time, right? Because you know, things change, the game changes. But what I
Right.
will say is that I feel like you could put LeBron in the NBA of yesteryear and he would still be dominant. I think he has all the physical gifts to be able to be a dominant player. I don't think he would have lasted this long because he would have got clobbered a lot.
Detroit would have destroyed him.
Yeah, he
Lane Beer follows with the ball, and then Barkley and Lane Beer. Barkley gets in the left. Lane Beer will come back with an uppercut.
wouldn't have lasted as long. He would have been clobbered a lot, but I think he would have still been able to dominate. I think MJ. I think if you put him in this league, I think he would dominate. I think he would still be dominant as well. Now, if you have them in the league at the same time in their prime, I don't know who would have the stronghold on the league, because like a lot of players who played with Jordan said, they was like, man, LeBron is basically MJ, but just bigger and stronger. You know what I'm saying? And so they're like, you know, I don't know to me, I don't know how people can't say LeBron is the GOAT. I'm sorry. I mean, he's the GOAT. But
So that being said, best sports father and son team: the Currys, the Mannings, or the Mayweathers?
man, you just picked a bunch of greats. Golly. Um, it's like I want to say that I'm gonna say the Currys, and I'm gonna be basketball biased, and the reason being is because you look at Steph, man, he's gonna go down as one of the all-time greats, right? And I mean,
Right.
he's always ready, probably depending on who you're talking to, the greatest shooter. But what
Mhm.
also makes him great is he changed the whole basketball dynamic and the whole hoop culture. Like now you got, and you see it in the youth basketball game, like every kid wants to shoot a three. It don't matter if they 5'1" or 6'8". They want to sit out on the perimeter and shoot threes, and that came from Curry and you know, honorable mention Klay Thompson. You know, so yeah, man, he transformed the game. You know, I don't like it, but as a coach, I don't like it, but you got to give him his props. He transformed the game.
You know what? I think a lot of us kind of like old school guys don't like it as much because it kind of reminds us of J.R. Smith from the Knicks. Like J.R. Smith used to do this crazy stuff like this, pull up from anywhere, and like, what are you doing? Not nearly as
Right,
good as Steph, but you're like, what are you
right.
doing here?